Altcoins are getting ready for a massive boost. There are several key macro developments happening right now that are going to push the entire crypto market much, much higher, with altcoins catching most of that move. The only problem is that there are several obstacles standing in the way. In this video, I'm going to break down what are these developments, what are these obstacles, and how long until we overcome them. If you're excited to learn more, like and subscribe down below, and let's find out just what I'm talking about. So what we're essentially waiting for are altcoins to make their move. Now, how do we know when altcoins are actually going to make their move? Now, I want to show you this chart. This is the chart we show a lot on this channel. This is showing you the connection between the ISM, which is how we measure the business cycle. The business cycle is the expansion or the contraction of economies, and altcoins as a percentage of Bitcoin total market cap. So essentially, as ISM goes higher, as the business cycle expands, altcoins also go higher. We have a bit of a problem though right now, and it's that the ISM has been stuck sideways for quite some time. In my opinion, what I think we're waiting for is for the ISM to go higher. I think this is going to be one of the key factors that really allow altcoins to go higher. It allows for a broadening out. When the business cycle goes higher, when the ISM goes higher, it allows for a broadening out. And I want to show you a clip from Tom Lee. Tom Lee is also keen to this development. Listen to what he has to say about the ISM and this broadening out thing.
I think there's a lot of upside, especially because, once you get an ISM back above 50, it really does argue for a broadening of markets.
And so the broadening out that Tom Lee is talking about refers to a movement from large caps down into mid caps and small caps. Now, this is actually more of a TradFi, kind of a traditional stock equities term, but in crypto, it refers to alt season. And you can see it again. Let me put it to you a little bit differently. As the ISM goes higher, you see ETH BTC go higher. And as we know, the path to alt season goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps, and down. So once we start to see Ethereum make ground against Bitcoin, that's when we know alt season is coming. So what do we need for this broadening out to happen? Now, what I believe we need to see happen is we're going to see an economic acceleration happen, and that's going to come from CapEx funding. So CapEx funding is essentially investment into the manufacturing side. This is going to drive the economy faster and higher. It's going to accelerate economic growth in the United States and drive PMIs higher ultimately. And I'm going to prove to you why later in this video. And there is significant amount of CapEx coming for the United States, and it's going to drive all risk assets higher. And so have a listen to the CNBC Investment Committee. They're going to break down this CapEx connection to risk assets and just what's coming for the United States. Have a listen.
Overall, I just don't see the bubble bursting while you still have this major spending cycle.
Well, that's the thing.
CapEx going on.
That's the thing. It's as long as the CapEx music is playing, so to speak, people are going to continue to dance to it. Yeah. And there's no indication at this point that it's going to stop anytime soon.
No indication that it's going to stop anytime soon. And so this is the chart that I really want you to take a look at. This is showing the connection between CapEx plans. And again, CapEx is just investment into manufacturing. So it kind of follows logically that investment into manufacturing would drive GDP higher, would increase economic activity. But let me put it to you in terms right here that you can see for yourself. CapEx plans versus real gross domestic product, that's GDP. And you can see the connection. As CapEx goes higher, GDP also goes higher. So we take a look at this chart here. US ISM manufacturing PMI versus real GDP. So GDP has lagged 6 months. And so what that means essentially is that ISM moves ahead of GDP. And so if we know that GDP is going to go higher, then we can reasonably say, this chart actually proves it, that the ISM will actually go higher ahead of that. Because what drives GDP higher is more investment, more spending, more manufacturing, more output, more gross domestic product. And the ISM is a measure of that process. And so this will go higher in anticipation of that. And so taking us back to this altcoins as a percentage of Bitcoin total market cap chart, you can see that the ISM goes higher, altcoins go higher. And the broadening out that I'm talking about, let me prove it to you here. The ISM going higher means that Bitcoin dominance falls. What do we know about Bitcoin dominance falling? It means other assets catch a bid. And so I want to show you this chart. This is a logarithmic regression band. I know it sounds fancy, but this is showing us that the total value of the crypto market cap by the end of the year will be 5 trillion. This red line right here. If you've been on this channel before, this is kind of our guide to alt season. What typically happens when we get into a parabolic crypto bull run phase? is we break above this red line. We go beneath it, we break above it. We go beneath it, break above, go beneath. We have yet to break above. All we have to do is break above this line a little tiny bit, because clearly we have diminishing returns, right? You can see that we have diminishing returns. If we break above this line just a tiny bit, we have 10 trillion total market cap. And so keeping in mind that just following the trend rate of growth, we go to 5 trillion. If we break above a little bit, as we have in every previous cycle, we get close to 10 trillion. You consider the fact that as the ISM goes higher, Bitcoin dominance also falls. It spells alt season to me. Every chart that we can look at is telling us this. ETH BTC, ISM goes higher, ETH BTC. ISM to alt, ISM to Bitcoin dominance. This is what we're waiting for. We are waiting for this CapEx to come through. We're waiting for the Fed to cut rates. There is a 96% chance that the Fed will cut rates in October. And so we're looking at the percentage of central banks cutting rates. This is the 9-month lead. So this leads the ISM. What we're also looking at the same time is 80% of central banks easing or cutting rates over the last 6 months. Guys, I'm incredibly bullish. I mean, this is an incredibly bullish thing. I feel like I'm basically proving this to you, or I'm proving it to myself. You guys believe what you want. ISM goes higher, central banks cutting rates. CapEx goes higher. GDP goes higher. ISM goes higher before GDP, actually, so that's good. Because in my head, I was like, well, if I got to wait 6 months after GDP goes higher for the ISM to go higher, I'm just selling my bags right now because I can't be asked. But this is good because ISM leads GDP. So when GDP starts to go higher, it stands to reason, and this is a fairly strong connection here if you look at this chart, that ISM will go higher before. So this is what I mean when I say that altcoins are going to get a massive boost, because we're waiting for this to play out. We're waiting for this cycle to play out. We're waiting for the Fed to cut rates. We're waiting for CapEx funding to come through. And we're waiting for the Trump administration and the central banks to really start pulling the levers that will engineer a very, very bullish time for all of us. And it's not the only thing that makes me bullish. There are many other factors in macro that make me bullish. They're all pointing towards the same thing as far as I can tell. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm looking at the probable distribution of economic and policy outcomes to help me and you make an informed decision. And if informed decisions are the kind of decisions you'd like to keep making, make sure you like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've learned anything. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.